In 2008, Ford released this monstrosity of a headlight using an H13 halogen headlight bulb. It fits the F250 and F350 Super Duty trucks. The light output is not that great, and in this video, we're going to show you how to upgrade to a brand new LED headlight bulb that works. You're going to get 3 times the amount of light on low beam and 2 times the amount of light on high beam. I'm Chris with Headlight Revolution, and after watching this video, I think you'll be ready to upgrade your headlights to an LED headlight bulb that works. So the original bulb is this halogen H13. It's 60 watt high beam and 55 watt low beam, and it creates this kind of dull, dingy, yellowish looking light output. And what we are going to replace it with is a brand new LED headlight bulb. And on the Ford Super Duty, it's plug and play. It's super simple. There's one little adjustment that you need to be aware of, but for the most part, it's a really easy install. Back in the day, we would use bulbs like this that have a traditional SMD style LED on them. And those work pretty good for what they were, but today there's a brand new type of LED chip being used on LED headlight bulbs that is taking over. It's called a CSP type LED. The interesting thing about the CSP style LEDs is that they can be arranged on the circuit board to better mimic the shape and position of the original filament bulb. If you see on the H13 halogen, it has 2 filaments that are vertically aligned, and on the LED you have a similar type situation. Now it's never going to be perfect because you've always got this bar in the middle where that original halogen bulb doesn't, but this type of LED works really well and better than anything we've ever tested. As you can see on the bulb, it has these flexible heatsink fins, and those just make for really easy installation. There's no fan or anything. You spread those out when you do the install to give it more surface area. If you look at the collar, it's exactly the same as the original halogen bulb collar, so it mounts in the headlight perfectly. Then if you look at the wiring connection, it's the exact same type of connector that the original halogen bulb has. So when you mount the bulb, it mounts just like the halogen bulb. When you plug in the bulb, it plugs in just like the halogen bulb. So it's a really easy install. The only thing you have to do, because this is a universal bulb, is make sure that the orientation of the bulb inside the headlight housing is correct. We'll show you that next. This black LED bulb with the SMD style chips is the Supernova version 2. When you buy the Headlight Revolution Ford Super Duty LED headlight kit from our website, you're going to get the Supernova version 3. It's the upgraded style that in this headlight performs really good. What you get in the kit are a pair of LED bulbs with external drivers and a plug and play wire harness. The drivers can come apart for easy install. They have an O-ring to help with susceptibility to water, and they come with an Allen screw. The Allen screw is in there because you see on the collar of the bulb, it has about a dozen points where you can take that screw out and spin it around, because when you put the bulb in the housing, it might not be perfectly centered. Let's look at the housing. On the bottom and on the top, there's flat spots that don't do a very good job of reflecting light. Because our new LED bulbs only shine in 2 directions, left and right or up and down, we want to make sure that the LEDs are not pointing up and down. It's not going to work very well. Also, you see that floating cap inside the headlight that's in front of the bulb? That's held on by a bracket down below. So if your bulbs are in there like this, they'll be shining down and hitting that bracket, and you're not going to get any light output. So it's really important to do the install exactly how we show you here. First step is, of course, take out the old halogen light bulb. Then you install the new LED light bulb. It has 3 tabs that only go in one way. Goes in exactly like the original bulb. Now when we look in the front, you can actually see that the bulb is positioned perfectly like this. But that may not always be the case. So what you want to do is one test fit, look here and make sure that the bulb is facing left to right. If it's not facing left to right, you would take the Allen screw that comes with the kit and remove the Allen screw. Now if you have trouble with the Allen wrench to take out the screw, I've found that sometimes the Allen wrench that comes in the kit isn't perfectly the right size. And I found that a T7 Torx driver works great. Now obviously this time it worked fine, but if you ever run into that issue, just go grab a T7 out of your toolbox. Once you've removed the collar by taking out that set screw, you can then install just the collar into the headlight, just as if you were putting the bulb in place. Make sure it goes all the way to the right. It's pretty tough, so make sure that you give it some strength from your hand. Then the bulb has two O-rings and you want to push it in all the way so they're both covered up. Now we can look at the front of the headlight. Like this, the LEDs are facing up and down, and that's not going to work very well. If we go like this, the LEDs are facing left to right, but it's still not the best beam pattern. What you want to do is make sure that the LEDs are facing left and right, but on the back side, the cord on the bulb is facing down. This is left and right in the correct orientation. This is left and right on the incorrect orientation. You see the cord, we want it on the bottom. If the bulb is facing like this, our LEDs are going up and down on the front, that's wrong. If the bulb is pointed like this, the LEDs are going up and down, that's also wrong. After doing our in-house testing, we found that on this particular headlight, with the LEDs facing left and right with the cord going down, gives us the best beam pattern and the most light output. And you can test this yourself by just doing this install and shining up against the door in your garage. Now that you've done your clocking test and you're for sure you know where the bulb goes, you can take it out. Now remember, don't twist on the silver base, just twist on the little plastic ears on the collar. The whole bulb should come out and stay in alignment. Then you need to identify the hole where our mounting screw came out of. And I've actually found that it's right here. Now it's not in line with any of the adjustment holes, so I'm going to tweak it just a little bit so that it lines up. I think that small degree of change from perfection isn't going to hurt anything. And in our tests, it didn't. We still got 3 times the amount of light on low beam and 2 times the amount of light on high beam. When you get that screw lined up perfectly, just put it in. With the bulb appropriately clocked and oriented correctly inside the headlight, just put it back together, plug it in, and go for a drive. So here's the stock H13 halogen bulb on the Ford Super Duty headlight. This is the low beam. As you can see, it's got that yellowish hue, but it's a very flat beam and it's pretty wide. The way that we did this test is we put the headlight in one spot, 25 feet from the wall, and then we test the original bulb and the Supernova LED bulb on low beam and high beam. We then used the digital lux meter to measure actual usable light for each one, and we compared the results. The factory bulb low beam on the Ford Super Duty headlight creates 610 lux of light. Now here's the high beam. It's much taller, less focused, but that's the point. The factory Ford Super Duty high beam creates 770 lux in this test. Remember what I said about putting in the LED bulb? You can't just put it in, you have to orient it, and the way to do that is to test it in something like this. You see, as I turn it around in the headlight, we get all these different focus points. We want it to look just like that, which is both LEDs pointing horizontally left and right with the cord hanging down. As you can see, we still have a very flat beam pattern with a much brighter hot spot. We still have all the same width as we did with the original light bulb, but now we're making 3 times the amount of light. The original low beam was 610 lux. At the exact same configuration, the V3 LED bulb makes 1,810 lux. That is a massive improvement. If you need to see more with your Ford headlights, this is the product you need. Now this is interesting. When we go to high beam, we still have this really tall beam pattern like the stock light bulb had, but the hot spot at the top is way brighter. Even though the high beam is technically less bright than the low beam, The beam pattern is different, that it will act as an appropriate high beam, and it's still twice as bright as the factory high beam. The original halogen light bulb high beam was 770 lux, and this new LED bulb makes 1,500 lux in the exact same configuration. Well, there you have it. It's a fairly easy install after watching our video that almost anybody can do it in their own garage on a weekend. If you want to do this upgrade to your Ford Super Duty, check out the link in the description below the website, or you can visit our website directly at www.headlightrevolution.com. This is a great and easy way to increase the style, safety, and functionality of your truck. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the other lighting upgrade and review videos that we come out with next. And for social media, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram.